You just got what?
I just got my guitar completely wrapped around my neck.
Okay, what happened to it?
You have a good sleep.
I had my programming at Swan. I had it all marked. I lost it.
I'm not playing guitar.
You're not playing guitar now? Okay.
Sorry.
I lost my program. No, that's not yours. That's one you're sitting on. Do you have your pen? I don't know what.
Is this the one you were writing on?
Yes.
I'm trading.
Yes. She's old.
Is this yours too?
I'm not sure this is better than sitting at home.
We need more rules and we can use. Everybody can read. You all set?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
You can actually, you're not using your guitar, so I'll shove that out.
I can use it for the.
Yeah,
Is there a vocal mic? Oh, this is me.
Are we ready? As soon as you hear the Tibetan bell, Elise,
Yes.
when you hear the Tibetan bell, as soon as it finishes, they'll quiet down and start.
Okay. That's Becky.
Did you hear that?
Yes, as soon as I hear the Every river wants to flow. Every river wants to reach the sea. Every river wants to swell with rain and carve new ways and spill through rocks in foamy spray. Every river wants to sing. Sing to all the wild things on its way. River songs that tell of melting snows and noisy shores. just for rich men's owning, taken from the most in need. We rise up, we rise up, thirsty, thirsty like the stranded salmon, thirsty like the lakes that vanished, thirsty to redeem our anguish, that we let it go so long. Rising up to speak for the thirsty, rising up to speak for the stranded, rising up to speak for the vanished, rising up like a Every being wants to flow. You and I and everyone we know. All of us are children of the waters. When they are troubled, we are troubled too. When a river's lost its voice, we can speak for the river. We can vote for the river. We will fight for the rivers. We will rise like a river. Every river wants to flow.
Good morning, and welcome to First Parish in Lexington. I'm Lisa Maria Andrioli Steinberg, Director of Religious Education and Family Ministry. Before sharing about our church and today's worship, we have a special message from our minister, the Reverend Ann Mason.
Good morning and welcome to First Parish in Lexington on this wonderful in-gathering Sunday. Whoever you are and wherever you are in your life's journey, you are welcome here. My name is Ann Mason and I am minister of this congregation. Normally I would be with you on a wonderful day like in-gathering, but this weekend I am officiating at my niece's wedding, and so I can't be here. But I'm here in spirit and I can't wait to see you all next week. Thank you.
So now you know where Ann is. And for those of you who may be new, let me tell you a little bit about our church. We are people of all ages, many backgrounds, many beliefs. We create spirituality and community beyond boundaries, working for more justice and more love in our lives and around the world. Unitarian Universalism has 7 principles, and we are basing our sources in scripture and science, nature and philosophy, modern thinking, and ancient tradition. If you are a visitor, we'd like to extend a special welcome to you, and if you'd like to find out even more about our congregation, please visit the welcome kiosk in Parish Hall during social hour, which has delicious food and coffee, very important, and is through these doors after the service ends. To our families with children today, we are happy to see you. We celebrate the joy and life that children bring into our space, and our worship is enlivened by your presence. The back of the church, there's a rocking chair if needed, and we have a staff nursery downstairs for babies and toddlers. The staircase to the nursery is through the vestibule and in the back there. Our Sunday school classes begin next week. Today's service is all ages, so everyone will worship together in our sanctuary today. We have one announcement today. Along with your bulletin, you received one of these spiffy little bookmarks. Has all of the voices on the green events for this year with themes and dates, And also like to point out, just like last year, we will also have Voices on the Green for Kids at all of these events. It's a family affair. Please come. They've become very popular. We often have over 200 people per show. And we hope that this year's themes will also catch your interest as well as your friends and neighbors, because we know you're going to tell them about it, right? Right? There we go. Thank you. All right. Now, the important part of the bookmark is on the back. I was told to demonstrate. There you'll find how you yourself can get involved this year, and perhaps you'd like to be a storyteller, an expert, because we don't have any of those, a poet, an artist, a musician for one of our themes, or you know someone in the community we should ask. If so, just call or email on the back. And if you're not sure, but you think you might have an idea, you want to learn more about how Voices happens, take a chance today to talk with us live before we finalize our performers for the year. And we'll be doing that in coffee hour, the Voices table, where you can talk to Voice team members, you can suggest things, you can complain about the things that you haven't liked about Voices in the past, you can ask questions. We'd love to hear from you. And now, I invite you to greet your neighbor. Rip? Rip? I don't know if he's ready. He's still greeting. I don't know if he's ready. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. And let us now deepen into worship with our musical introit.
morning. Good to see you all here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Katie O'Hare Gibson. I'm the chair of the board, and I'll do the chalice lighting this morning. This morning, the chalice lighting is called Thirsty by Gregory Pelly. And so we gather from the ebb and flow of our lives, thirsty for connection to ourselves, thirsty for connection to others, thirsty for connection to the larger life. As we light this chalice, may all who gather here be filled with joy and hope, filled with compassion and love. Here, may we be filled so that we may pour ourselves out into the world. Please join us in singing the sung response, which can be found in your order of service.
Good morning. Can you please rise as you was able and join us in the unison affirmation and then followed by the opening hymn, I See You With My Heart. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is a sacrament, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another to the ends that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Yes.
At the school, you may sit down. At the school where I teach teenage refugee girls. And at the school where I teach, we say that every student is a teacher and every teacher is a student. So I learned from them how they say welcome in their languages. In Burmese, Mingalaba. Mingalaba, 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 Ming. In Karen, which is part of Burma, they say Rolage. Rolage, 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 rolage. In Pashto, spoken in Afghanistan, they say Stire Mashe. Stire Mashe, Stire Mashe, Stire Mashe, Stire Mashe. And in Kirundi, spoken in Burundi, Amahoro. Amahoro, 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 Amahoro. And now we are going to make one of my favorite things, a polyrhythmic, multilingual musical collage. We are going to sing all of these welcomes together to create one welcome together. I'm going to start, and I'll give it to sections, but if there's a part that you would rather sing, feel free. So over here, we're going to start. Mingalaba, 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 Mingalaba. Keep that going. Mingalaba. Olage, 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 olage. Stire Mashe, Stire Mashe, Stire Mashe, Stire Mashe. Amahoro, 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 Amahoro. We are all welcome here, no matter where we come from, no matter where we're going, we are welcome. We are welcome in every language, every way that we choose to stand on this earth. We are all welcome, all welcome. We're all welcome. Thank you.
I think we should give everybody a round of applause for doing that one so well. A stream from far off in the mountains, passing through the land, flowing through and around small villages and cities, farms and factories, stream beds of small pebbles and large boulders, at last reached the sands of the desert. Just as it had crossed over every other obstacle, the stream tried to cross this one, but found that as fast as it ran into the sand, its waters disappeared. It was convinced, however, that its destiny was to cross this desert, and yet there was no way. And then, because in all stories there's a and then, a hidden voice came from the desert itself and whispered, "The wind crosses the desert, and so can the stream." The stream said that it was only able to splash itself against the sand and be absorbed. But the wind could fly, and this is why the wind could cross a desert. The voice answered, "By pushing yourself in your own way, you cannot get across. You will either disappear or become mired as a marsh. You must allow the wind to carry you over to where you know you must go." The stream responded, still skeptical, "But how can this happen?" "By allowing yourself to be absorbed by the wind." This idea was not acceptable to the stream. After all, it had never been absorbed before. It did not want to lose its individuality, to lose the only way it had ever thought of itself. And if it did allow the wind to take over, how would it know how to become itself again? "The wind," said the voice of the sand, "performs this function. It takes up water, carries it over the desert, and then lets it fall again. Falling as rain, the water again becomes a river." "But how can I know this is true?" said the stream. "It is so, and if you do not believe it, you cannot become more than a marsh. And even that could take many, many years. And it certainly is not the same as a stream. But can I not remain the same stream that I am today?" "You cannot in either case remain so," the whisper said. "Your essential part is carried away and forms a stream again. You are called what you are even today because you do not know which part of you is the essential one." When it heard this, certain echoes began to rise up in the thoughts of the stream. Dimly, it remembered a state in which it, or some part of it, had been held in the arms of the wind. And it also remembered maybe this was a real thing, although not the obvious thing to do. But the stream raised its vapor into the welcoming arms of the wind, which gently and easily carried it up along into the sky, and then let it fall softly as soon as they reached the roof of a mountain many, many miles away. And because it had its doubts, the stream was able to remember through its doubts and record more strongly in its mind the details of its experience. And it reflected, "Yes, now I have learned my true identity." This story from the Sufi tradition reminds us that while we are ever changing, we do not fully lose what is in our past. For many in this community, September is much more a time of new beginnings than the change of the calendar in January. From our families with school-age and college-age children to the many of you who are attached to academics professionally, September is a time for new backpacks and new clothes and a new travel coffee mug. Anybody else get a new travel mug this season? And maybe you're a kindergartner this year, like my daughter, and you're excited and exhausted about being in school all day. Or maybe you're sliding into 8th grade, fully aware that you know everything, and that the only people who know things that you don't know are people who aren't related to you. You all know 8th graders, don't you? Or maybe you started a new job recently that's asking you to learn a new skill to help your team, and it's making your head spin. Or you're newly retired and eager to discover what new parts of you will grow now that you have the time. Or, and I know this is true for a couple of you, you retired a year ago, but only sort of, and really this year you're actually going to discover your next chapter after retirement. But whatever new adventures await for you, remember that you are like the stream, traveling to your destination, becoming something different than you were before, but never losing your true essence. Feeling scared or confident, nervous or curious, all of those feelings are part of discovering the next part of you, while still holding on to the parts of you you already know. It is tradition in our water communion service for each of us to pour water from our summer experiences into a communal bowl to celebrate the return to this community, the return to regular fellowship and worship and learning together. Today, as you pour your water into our bowl, and we do have backup water for those of you who forgot or are brand new and did not know this was a thing. But as you pour your water in, you're invited to share about the place your water grounded you in this summer, and then, if you wish, a word of where you hope to be grounded in the newness in this season of change. Thanks for sharing. We like to share here. Sorry, that was a little loud. So I'd like to invite you to come up to the center aisle, and you can share your waters into the bowl.
Perth, Australia.
I went to 3 different camps.
From Germany.
This is for Lucy from West Point, Maine.
Casco Bay.
Lexington water, because this is where I'm newly being grounded.
This is from Sebago Lake.
It's Sebago Lake water.
Local water.
More local water.
Gulf of Mexico.
Calm.
That covers it.
Nonquit, where this lovely lady turned 96 this year.
Buzzards Bay water.
How fortunate we are to be in Lexington, and good luck for everyone for next year.
Tanglewood.
Our home.
My bird bath.
Her bird bath. That's my favorite.
Vineyard Haven.
Maine. Rose. Puget Sound.
Shaw Island, Washington.
Adirondacks Forest.
Many places in New England.
Peace.
Sudbury River.
My new home in Lexington.
Welcome. There's my 8th grader.
Galway Bay at Salt Hill.
From a huge river, 350 feet down the earth, from my new artesian well.
Iceland.
Munalahti, Finland.
Home.
Level Lake, New Hampshire.
East Berlin.
The New Well in Allen, South Dakota.
Wherever the water comes in the jar there.
From the filtered tap at my house.
Sebago Lake.
Beverly.
Beverly.
For the blending of two households, Rhode Island and Lexington.
Lovely.
Home. The sink.
Thank you.
Smith River, New Hampshire.
Sweden with hopes for world peace.
Crane Brook, Peabody.
Mount Desert Island, Maine, and the Pacific Ocean near San Diego.
The Thames in London, the Spree in Berlin, and the Elbe in East Germany.
It's a lot of water.
The mighty Atlantic around Star Island.
Mountain streams of Colorado.
Fly fishing in the Blue River in Colorado, Dylan.
With me, but it's in honor of my soul has the water from Walden Pond.
Thank you.
Lovely. Please rise as you are able, and we're going to sing the song, Take Heart, Take Part. Oh, sit, we can sit. Oh, we got one.
Are we calling an audible here? Are we calling an audible here?
Is it turned on?
Check. There it is. Yes. Sorry. We're going to sing this for you first, so you have a chance to learn it. All right? This is a song I wrote last spring at the request of a singing group in New York who loved Pete Seeger a lot. And they wanted me to write a song based on a saying of his, which was, participation, that's what's going to save the human race. Participation is going to save the human race. Save us, save us. Participation is gonna save the human race. Save us, save us. Participation is gonna save the human race. Save us, save us. Participation is gonna save the human race. Save us, save us. Now there are two more parts, so listen. So you sing that, okay? Participation, and I'll sing the second part. Go ahead and sing it. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Participation is gonna save
you know
the
how to
human
do
race.
can save us, save us.
Participation is gonna save
only
the
you
human
can do
race.
is gonna save us, save us. Something only you can do is gonna save us, save us. Something only you can do is gonna save us, save us. Okay, so let's have all the men sing the first part, participation, and then we'll have all the women. We'll teach the second part to all the women on this side, and we'll teach the third part to all the women on this side. Okay? And men, once we get going with all the parts, Terry's going to be singing your part, participation, along with all the guys in the choir. So here's the first part, guys. Participation is gonna save the human race. Save us, save us. Participation is gonna save the human race. Save us, save again. Us. Participation is gonna save the human race. Save us, save us. Participation is gonna save the human race. Save us, save hum this time. Us. Keep humming, okay? All right, ladies, here comes your part on this side. There we go. Something you know how to do can save us, save us. Something only you can do is gonna save us. Say again. Something you know how to do can save us, save us. Something only you can do is gonna save us. Hum that part now. Something big or small can save us, save us. When we get involved, it's gonna save us, save us. Something we know to do can save us, save us. When we only you can do is gonna save us. Save all right, everybody, participation is gonna save. You know how to do can save us, save us. Participation is gonna only you can do is gonna save us, save us. Participation is gonna save. You know how to do can save us, save us. Participation is gonna save. Only you can do is gonna save us, save us. Take heart, take part, take heart, take part, take part, take part, take part, take part, take heart, take part. Participation is something that we are deeply into. I wonder if you remember what letter of the alphabet comes after the letter P? How many of you had to go A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, right? When we sing, it's in us. It's in us forever. There's things that we remember, and they say that even people who are starting to lose their memory, losing consciousness of this present, the singing is always there. I was born in Switzerland. My first language is German. But when I was 4 years old, my family moved to the United States. We moved to a little town called Manlius outside of Syracuse, New York. And I was put in nursery school. There were all these little children running around, and they were making the weirdest sounds I'd never heard. I had no idea. But I saw that they were communicating with each other. They were making each other laugh. They were paying attention to each other. I was determined I was going to break the code. So I did something which I think is really weird, but they say is normal in this situation, which is that I didn't speak in school for 6 months. And after 6 months, I started speaking English. When I started learning English, I realized, wow, Every language has its own sounds that are so different. Wenn ich Deutsch spreche, das ist die Sprache meiner Kindheit. Es ist weich und erinnert mich an meine Eltern. Also, there's ways that you can say things, you just can't translate them. So I determined at age 4 that I was going to learn all the languages in the world. I didn't know at that time that on the continent of Africa there are more than 1,000 languages, just on that one continent. But I am working on it. I mentioned earlier that I teach at a school for teenage refugee girls. I came to that in a most wonderful route, and it's something I want to encourage for you to find what it is of all the things that you know how to do, how to put them together into the thing that you are supposed to do here on this earth. So I thought all growing up, because I was so excited about languages, and I loved music, but I didn't want to study music, you know, formally in college because I didn't want to ruin it, in quotes. And so I was going to be a translator or interpreter all my growing up. I was excited about that. I wanted to work at the United Nations and have earphones on my ears where one language was coming in here and another one coming out my mouth, simultaneous translation. Well, I got sidetracked into theater, and my theater company, we were a bunch of ragtag artists of various disciplines, and we said, well, let's all teach each other what we know. And they said, you're going to teach us singing. I was like, I've never done that before, but I've had wonderful teachers all through elementary, middle, and high school in public schools. And so I started figuring out how to get people who thought they couldn't sing, who were told they were tone deaf, all those things that about 80% of our population has been told, how to make joyful noise, not just on their own, but forming community by raising voices together. And so over the years, I have created impromptu glorious choruses, that's the name of my workshop, all around the globe, getting people to sing together, just like we're doing here this morning. I've taken my global, local, and homemade songs in concerts around the world, and I've found my place combining all of these things at the Global Village Project, a school for teenage refugee girls coming from Afghanistan, Burma, Congo, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Nepal, Iraq, Syria, Somalia, coming together from their different cultures and coming together in Clarkston, Georgia, known as the most diverse square mile in the United States. Yes, Clarkston, Georgia, part of Metro Atlanta. And there I was able to bring my languages and my love of music to get these girls using music to learn English. I teach English through singing. So I encourage you to think about what are your gifts, and how can those gifts come together in that unique way that only you have to share with the world that we need so much. Thank you.
We will now receive the morning offering for the work of this church.
As a hawk or a bee or a blackberry bramble, like a flock of shorebirds turning round and round in an instinctive motion. I want to hear you calling me in a song that you sing through the dark blue sea. I want to find my home again by the stars, by the water flows, guided by ancient knowing. I follow the flight, the blue, the design of the web, of the nest, of the honeycomb's angles. Across the line, my human mind divides me from part of the heart of the pattern. I want to hear you calling me in a song that you sing through the dark blue sea. I want to find my home again by the stars.
Let us pray together. We hold in our hearts today those affected by the destruction of Hurricane Dorian, especially in the Bahamas. For those in grief for the loss of life, the expected sadnesses that still break our hearts open. Let us offer a prayer for ourselves and for the stream, for those seeking change and those with change thrust upon them. As these communal waters remind us, we are not alone in our travels. Let these waters be a blessing to our community as we reach for our best selves. God, help us to change ourselves and to change our world, to know the need for it, to deal with the pain of it, to feel the joy of it, to undertake the journey without understanding the destination. Amen. I invite you now to join in singing our closing hymn. I'm not sure if we're standing or sitting. We're sitting. We're sitting.
Like a ball of fire, like the heavenly sound of the gospel choir. And I can see the light, like a brand new day, like a bolt of lightning, it takes my breath away. Shine on, shine on, shine on, shine, the heavenly light, shine on, shine on. Heavenly light, shine on, shine on, shine on. And I can hear the sound, like a charming bell, like a soft reminder that all is well. And I can feel the beat, like the wings of a dove, like a heart on fire, full of the light of love. Like a ball of fire, like the heavenly sound, of a gospel choir, And I can see the light, like a brand new day, like a bolt of lightning, it takes my breath away. Shine on, shine on, shine on, shine, the heavenly light, shine on. Shine on, shine on, shine on. Said I can hear the sound, like a charming bell, like a soft reminder, all is well, I can feel the beat, like the wings of a dove, like a heart on fire, full of the light of love. Shine on, shine on, shine on. Shine on, shine on, shine on. The heavenly light, shine on. favorite night. It's such a welcome sight. Here comes the light, here comes the light, here comes the sun, here comes the heat. This is heaven. Shine on, shine on, shine on. The heavenly light, shine on, shine on, shine on. Shine on, shine on, shine on. The heavenly light, shine on, shine on, shine on. Your heavenly light, shine on, shine on, shine on. The heavenly light, shine on, shine on, shine on, shine. Your heavenly light.
I invite you to arise now, embody your spirit, to join in singing the response for extinguishing our chalice flame. As we depart this holy space, open to change and the new, let us live into the possibilities that await us when we let ourselves go into the wind to discover ourselves again. Go in joy, go in peace, go with the winds of change at your back. Blessings on you all.
May this candle rekindle the light of love and shine on a world in peace. May this heart restart the fire of hope for all who need release. Light the light in peace. Pass it on in love. Light the light in peace, pass it on. May this candle rekindle the light of love and shine on a world in peace. May this heart restart the fire of hope for all who need release. Light the light in peace, pass it on in love. Light the light in peace, pass it on. May this candle rekindle the light of love and shine on a world in peace. May this heart restart the fire of hope for all who need release. Light the light in peace, pass it on in love. Light the light in peace, pass it on. May this candle rekindle the light of love, the light of love, the light of love, light the